History is usually a discipline of facts. We rely on documents, archaeology, and eyewitness accounts to piece together the narrative of the past. We like things to be concrete. We like dates. We like names. We like logical explanations. But every once in a while, history throws up a story that refuses to fit. A story that feels like it belongs in a Grimm's fairy tale, yet is recorded in the serious chronicles of the time as a factual event. Welcome back to The Glitch. Today, we are traveling to the quiet English countryside, to the county of Suffolk, to the 12th century. Imagine the scene. It is harvest time during the reign of King Stephen, a period known as the Anarchy, because of the civil war and lawlessness that plagued the land. The villagers of a small hamlet called Woolpit are working in the fields. The name Woolpit comes from the deep trenches dug around the village to trap wolves that threatened the livestock. On this particular day, the reapers are working near the wolf pits when they hear a sound. It isn't a wolf. It is the sound of crying. They approach the edge of the pit, looking down into the darkness. And there, huddled together in the dirt, are two children, a boy and a girl. They look terrified. They are wearing clothes made of a strange material and unknown color. They are speaking to each other in a language that sounds like nothing the villagers have ever heard. Not English, not French, not Latin. But none of that is the reason the villagers freeze in their tracks. The reason they stare in horror is the children's skin. It is green, not painted green, not sick with nausea. Their skin is pigmented with a deep, uniform olive green hue. The villagers, likely crossing themselves and muttering prayers, rescue the children from the pit. They are taken to the home of the local lord, a man named Sir Richard de Calne. This is where the story moves from a momentary encounter to a prolonged mystery. Sir Richard tries to feed them. The children are clearly starving, yet they refuse all food. Bread, meat, cheese. They turn their heads away and weep. For days, they eat nothing. The villagers are convinced they will die. Then the children spot some raw broad beans in the garden. They eagerly tear them open. For months, this is all they will eat, raw beans. Gradually, the children adapt. But the boy is sickly. He becomes depressed, lethargic, and within a year, he dies. The girl, however, survives. She begins to eat other foods, and as her diet changes, a remarkable transformation happens. The green pigment fades from her skin. She becomes a normal, healthy young woman. She learns to speak English. She takes a job as a servant in Sir Richard's house. She is described as being loose and wanton in her conduct, but otherwise normal. But once she could speak, the people of Woolpit had only one question. Where did you come from? Her answer only deepened the mystery. She told them that she and her brother came from a place called St. Martin's Land. She said that in her country, there was no sun. The land was bathed in a perpetual twilight. She said that all the people there were green, just like them. She explained that she and her brother were herding their father's cattle when they heard a loud noise, like the chiming of bells. Entranced by the sound, they followed it into a cave. They wandered in the darkness for what felt like hours until they saw a bright light at the end of the tunnel. They emerged into the blinding sunlight of the Wolf Pit in England, unable to find their way back. In 1173, near the village of Woolpit, a battle took place at Fornham St. Genevieve. Thousands of Flemish mercenaries were slaughtered. The theory goes like this. The children were Flemish. Their parents were killed in the battle or the persecution. The children fled into the dense forests of Thetford Forest. To a terrified child, the dark, dense canopy of the ancient woods might seem like a land of perpetual twilight. The strange language was likely Flemish, which the uneducated English villagers wouldn't recognize. The bells they heard were likely the church bells of Bury St. Edmunds. Confused, traumatized, and starving, they wandered until they fell into the wolf pit. St. Martin's Land might have been a reference to the village of Fornham, St. Martin, near where they lived.